पुरुषैर्भगवान् यज्ञपूरुषः युज्यमानो भक्तिमदा नारदेनेरिदः किल यास्ता देवर्षिणा तत्र वर्णिता भगवत्कथाः मह्यं शुश्रूषवे ब्रह्मन् कास्नेना चष्टुमर्हसि. That is the tune again. Let's start. Sutta uvacha निशम्य कौशारविणोपवर्णितम् ध्रुवस्य वैकुण्ठपदाधिरोहणम् प्ररूढभावो भगवत्यदोक्षजे प्रष्टुं पुनस्तं विदुरप्रचक्रमे. All the story about Dhruva, this story of Dhruva, Narada Muni narrated in the assembly of Prachetas. And so our Vidura, he was overcome with so much divine bhava, praruda bhavo. He was feeling so much emotion and prema to Bhagavan, that such a Bhagavan exists. Bhagavatyadokshaje, praruda bhavo, Bhagavatyadokshaje. When we hear a story of a bhakta and we see how he was blessed by Bhagavan and how kind and loving Bhagavan is, we get that feeling, wow, like that. Our Vidura is feeling tremendous upsurge of emotion and love to Bhagavan. And so, Nishamya Kaushara Vinopavarnidam Kaushara Vino. That is our Maitreya. When Maitreya narrated Dhruvasya Vaikunta Padadirohanam, when that the story of Dhruva, where he ascended Vaikunta Padadirohanam, when he went to that high state, then hearing that Praruda Bhavo Bhagavatya Dokshaji Prashtum Punastam Vidura Prachakrame Prashtum Punastam. He asked more questions. Who? Vidura. So, what did Vidura ask? Vidura Uvacha Kete Prachetaso Nama Kasyapatyani Suvrata Kasyan Vavaye Prakhyataha Utrava Satramasata Kete Prachetaso Nama Kasyapatyani Suvrata Kasyan Vavaye Prakhyataha Utrava Satramasata Manye Mahabhagavatam Naradam Devadarshanam Yena Prokta Kriya Yogaha Parichanya Vidirharehe. Manye Mahabhagavatam Naradam Devadarshanam Yena Prokta Kriya Yogaha Parichanya Vidirharehe. The story from Maitreya. Maitreya said, Narada told the story of Dhruva in the assembly of Prachetas. Apo Arinda Prachetas, Kete Prachetaso Nama. Vidura is asking, Kasyapatyani Suvrata, whose sons are the Prachetas? And then Kasyan Vavaye Prakhyataha, who are their descendants? How did they, which kula did they come? In which line did they come? Kutrava Satramasata. And you said they conducted a long sacrifice, a satra. They conducted a long sacrifice. Where did this satra happen? And then Vidura is telling, I understand. Narada is the greatest devotees of Narayana. One of the greatest devotees, Mahabhagavatam. Manye Mahabhagavatam. Naradam Deva Darshanam. Even for the Devas, the darshan of Narada is very rare. Manye Mahabhagavatam Naradam Deva Darshanam Ena Prokta Kriya Yogaha. Narada was the one who taught us the Bhakti Marga and the different rituals and how to serve Bhagavan, different Kriya Yogam. What are the way to do worship in the Bhakti Marga? It was Narada who taught us Yena Prokta Kriya Yogaha Parichadya Vidirharehe. What are the ways of worship in the Bhakti Marga? Are the rituals? Adu eppadi pannano? Narada is the one who taught us. So, Swadharmashilai Purushair Bhagavan Yajna Purushaha युज्यमानो भक्तिमता नारदेनेरिदखिल स्वधर्मशीलै पुरुषैर्भगवान् यज्ञपूरुषः युज्यमानो भक्तिमदा नारदेनेरिदखिल यास्ता देवर्षिणा तत्र वर्णिता भगवत्कथाः मह्यं शुश्रूषवे ब्रह्मन् कात्स्नेना चष्टुमर्हसि यास्ता देवर्षिणा तत्र वर्णिता भगवत्कथाः मह्यं शुश्रूषवे ब्रह्मन् कात्स्नेना चष्टुमर्हसि शीलैः पुरुषैर्भगवान् यज्ञपूरुषः युज्यमानो भक्तिमता नारदेनेरित किल Narada is the great devotee of Narayana. And for me, I feel like Narada is only has come as Guru Maharaj sometimes. So Narada Muni, he is teaching the Bhakti Marga, and also when one observes their Swadharma, that itself will purify them and take them towards path of attaining Bhagavan. So Swadharma Shilai Purushai Bhagavan Yajna Purushaha. Our Guruji says, whatever task is in front of you, just love that task and do it. Then everything you do will become offering to Bhagavan. Right? Sometimes we don't like, we are very peaceful people when we are in the temple or in satsang. But then if I have to go to the post office to mail something, if I have to write bills, then I get very stressed and all. But Guruji is teaching us, whatever task you have, you learn to love it, and then that also becomes offering to God. So every moment you are connected with God only. So our Swadharma, everybody has different Swadharma based on our life situation. We are all Brahmanas supposed to be, but who really not able to do all this three dharma or Purusha dharma. We don't know all that right now in Kali Yuga. But whatever our in this age, as we are trying to do the best we can, and in the grihastha, in the as householders, we have to do our swadharma correctly. That itself is pleasing to Bhagavan, and we attain Bhagavan very easily. So swadharma shilai purushai Bhagavan yajna purushaha ijyamano bhakti mada. Who taught this? Narada. नारदेनेरिद किल यास्ता देवर्षिणा तत्र वर्णिता भगवत्कथाः. Narada Muni only gives Bhagavad Katha to everyone, right? Narada gives the Bhakti Marga. Who he asked, Vidura asked, who are the Prachetas? So, as we are already students of Narayaniam, we know all the Prachetas. This we already studied just now in Narayaniam class. In Canto number 19, we saw ऋतोस्तु नप्ता ऋतुधर्मकर्मटः प्राचीनबर्हिर्युवदौ शतद्रुदौ प्रचेतसो नाम सुचेतसः अजीजनत्वात् करुणाङ्कुरानिव. So prachetaso nama. So Prithu, we are going to see who was Prithu. Prithuvoda putran Prachina were his, and his sons are Prachetas, and there are 10 sons. And their story we saw. In that story, finally Narada tells them Puranjanopakyana, and there they conduct a big satra, Prachetas, and all the rishis assemble. And Narada tells the story of Puranjanopakyana, story of Dhruva, and several other katha of Sri Hari. So that is how Dhruva story, Vidura, Prithu. Who was Prithu? We are going to see in next chapter and the following chapters. So Prithu, so Vidura is asking, please tell me more about all this. So Swadharmashilai Purushai Bhagavan Yajna Purushaha Ijyamano Bhaktimada Narade Neri Dakkila Yasta Devarshina Tatra Varnita Bhagavat Kathaha Mahyam Shushrushave Brahman Kasnena Chashtumarhasi. So Vidura asked all this, then Maitreya is telling, Maitreya uvacha Dhruvasya Chotkalah putraha Pitari prastitevanam Sarvabhauma Shriyam Naichat Adirajasanam Pituhu Dhruvasya Chotkalah putraha Pitari prastitevanam Sarvabhauma Shriyam Naichat Adirajasanam Pituhu Sa Janmanopashantatma Nissangaha Samadarshanaha Dadarsha Loke Vitatam Atmanam Lokamatmani Sa Janmanopashantatma Nissangaha Samadarshanaha Dadarsha Loke Vitatam Atmanam Lokamatmani. Dhruva had a son called Utkala. We saw in the chapter 11, Nishamya Gadadame Evam Rishi, Prajapate Duhitaram Shumarasya Vaidruvaha Upayeme Brahmim Nama Tatsutau Kalpavatsarau. Dhruva married a wife called Brahmi, and she had two sons. They had Kalpa and Vatsara. Then Dhruva also married Ilayam Apibhadyayam Vayo Putrya Mahabalaha. He married Ila, the daughter of Vayu Bhagavan, and they had the son Putram Utkalanamam Yoshidratnam Ajijanat, and they had a son called Utkala and also a beautiful daughter. So that Utkala is what they are saying here. Dhruvasya Chotkala Putraha Pitari Prastitevanam. Dhruva left the forest and made Utkala the king. Sarvabhaumashiyam Naichat Adirajasanam Pituhu. Utkala, however, did not have any interest in being the king. He was in a, in a deep state of peace of mind and tranquil mind already. So he had no interest to enjoy the royal throne or the prosperous kingdom. By Sa Janmanopashandatma. He was already born in a peaceful state. When the mind is already, merged in Bhagavan, there is nothing to do. After that, there is nothing to do. Why are we doing things? Because to get there. So when already mind is there, their karma is over. They just want to either teach others or just to finish the rest of the prarabdha. They don't have to take new karma. So Utkala is in that state. Sa janmanopashandatma nisangaha samadarshanaha. There is no attachment. There is equanimity in everything. Dadarsha loke vitadam atmanam lokamatmani. Seeing everything as Bhagavan. Already he is in that state. So Atmanam Brahma Nirvanam Pratyastamita Vigraham Avabodha Rasaikatmyam Anandam Manusandadam. These are the description of how that state will be. How it will be? Atmanam Brahma Nirvanam Pratyastamita Vigraham Avabodha Rasaikatmyam Anandam Manusandadam Avyavachinna Yogagni Dakta Karma Malashayah Swarupam Avarundhano Natmanonyam Tadekshada. Avyavachinna Yogagni Dagda Karma Malashayah Swarupam Avarundhano Natmanonyam Tadekshada. Anam Brahma Nirvanam. He saw everything as Atma Swarupa. Everything as that Parabrahman only. That state we say that Guruvayappan's actual Swarupam Sandra Ananda Avabodhatmagam. Sandra Ananda Avabodham. That peaceful state which is giving a feeling of fullness and bliss and which is continuous. So that state is he is born like that. Atmanam Brahma Nirvanam Pratyastamita Vigraham Avabodha Rasaikatmyam Anandam Anusandadam. Already in that state of deep bliss, the state that our Jada Bharata was. So Avyavachinna Yoga Agni, continuous Bhakti Yoga. This didn't come from any spiritual practice. It has, come over a period of time by grace. Perhaps he did some sadhana in other births, but right now this is where one wants to go to. This is the goal, and he's already there. Avyavachinna yogagni dagda karma malashaya. There is no more karma. That there is a very powerful shloka in Narayaniyam in Canto number 94, which describes the path of jnana. So the jnana marga, how they will be after a jnani attains, how their state will be, how a state of Jadabharata will be, how Utkala was. And so what does that, how does one get there for our purpose? How to get there? आचार्याख्याधरस्तारणि समनुमिलचिष्यरूपोदरारण्या वेदोद्भासितेन स्फुटतरपरिबोधाग्निना दह्यमाने कर्माळि वासना तत्कृततनुभुवन भ्रान्तिकान्तारपूरे दाह्याभावेन विद्याशिखिनि च विरते त्वन्मयी खल्ववस्था Acharyakyadharastarani. There is the two stick, the lower stick. Acharya's teachings, Guru Upadesha, is the lower stick. Adharastarani, Acharyakyadharastarani, Samanuvila Rupa. And then there is the Shishya, he is the upper stick. Samanumila Shishya Rupotararanya Vedodbhasitena. And both the sticks are rubbed together. Avedodbhasitena. Then the fire is lit. The fire of knowledge. Sputatara Paribodhagrina Dahyamane. The fire of knowledge is lit. This knowledge, it burns away all the karmali vasana tat kritadanubhuvana bhranti kantara pure. When that knowledge is lit, it burns all the remaining karma and vasana. The bhranti, the maya, we are all in illusion. That maya is removed. And the kantara pure, when the entire Ajnana is burnt, Dahya Bhavena, the knowledge only, the fire, it burnt all the karma vasana, burnt all the Ajnana, there is nothing else to burn, then the fire also gets extinguished. That is the state they are describing. Avyavachinna yogagni dagda karma malashaya. Very powerful. We can at least think about it. It's not there yet, but at least we can understand. So, Acharyakya Adharastarani. First stick is the Gurunadar. Shishya Rupodhararanyo. Samanumila Shishya Rupo. Shishyas is joining. The stick, upper stick is Shishya. And both are rubbed together. The fire is lit. And the fire of Jnanam, that is lit. And that fire, karma, it burns all the karmali vasana tatrita dhanubhuvana bhranti kantara pure. It removes all the karma vasana and the bhranti, our ignorance. It removes. The fire removes all that, and the fire is there. Now there is nothing to remove. And so when the fuel is over, the fire shuts. Fire also shuts down. There is nothing. And that state is the state of Sandranandavabodhatmakam. There is nothing to burn, and then there is that state of bliss. So, adhuda inge cholra dahya bhavena vidyashikini cha virade tvanmayi khalvavastha. In that state, there is complete merge in Bhagavan, and there is nothing else other than Bhagavan. There is no dual second person. So Utkala is in that state. Everything is one. Bhagavan is everything and he is in Bhagavan. So he doesn't see anything separate. There is nothing to do, nothing to attain. There is nothing lacking. It's in state of fullness. And the state Lavan, he is there. So therefore he cannot relate to the world. So we can at least imagine that state. Irukku. That is the state. Irukku appadi. And we can get there by Guru's grace and our effort. So that is the sloka, very important. Atmanam Brahma Nirvanam Pratyastamida Vigraham Avabodharateikatmyam Anandam Anusandadam Avyavachinna Yogagni Dagda Karma Malashayah Swarupam Avarundhano Natmano Anyam Tadekshada. Immersed in the Swarupa. So there is no Anyam, there is no second one. For me and you, there is Manasi. Remember Jadabarada's story that Manasi has to be annihilated by Guru Pasana, isn't it? So that Manas is the second thing has come and blocking us from Bhagavan. Bhitirnama Dvitiyad Bhavadi Nanu Manak Kalpidam Chadvitiyam. Bhiti எங்கேருந்து வந்தது மனசுன்னு ஒரு second entity came, so bhiti has come. Again Narayanyam 91 shloka, 91 canto. So for us, so these are not just I read Bhagavatam, close the book, bye bye. No, try to bring it in our daily life. After we finish class and go back little bit, we'll think, or sometime some suddenly it will come. Like, see, we learned that in Bhagavata shloka. Like that is Bhagavatam. It's a treasure, a pokisham in Tamil we say. It's a full box of treasure it is. So different days, different teaching will come from Bhagavatam. So today we are learning that state of Utkala. So Avyavat Chinna Yogagni Dagda Karma Malashayah Swarupam Avanundhano Natmanu Anyam Tadaikshada Jadanda Badironmatta Mukakriti Ratanmatihi Lakshita Patibalanam Rashantarchirivanalaha Jadanda Badironmatta Mukakriti Ratanmatihi Lakshita Patibalanam Rashantarchirivanalaha Patvatam Jadamunmattam Kulavriddha Samantrinaha Matsaram Bhupatim Chakruhu Yaviyam Sambhrame Sutam Matvatam Jadamunmattam Kulavriddha Samantrinaha Matsaram Bhupatim Chakruhu Yaviyam Sambhrame Sutam.
Jada Tabbadironmatta Mugagridiradhanmadihi Lechira Padibharana Prasanda Sirivanalaka Matvatam Jadamunmattam Kulavriddhaga Samandrinaha Valsaram Bhuvadim Chakru Diviya Sambrame Sudam.
When his Utkala is in such a state, Jadanda Madironmatta is in a state of Unmatta Nilai. He is acting like he is deaf, never answer, he never makes eye contact, never answer question. Where are you? What is your name? Which, who is your father? If they ask all this, he doesn't know. He's in some state. So, Jadanda Madironmatta is like a deaf man or a dumb man or a blind man. Kakuti Ratanmatihi, they think he's mad. Lakshitaf Patibalanam Prashantarchirivanalaha. Since that state he is in, where there is no more, that ego is not coming again and again to push him outward. He's in a state of bliss. There's only, quietness. And so the people do not understand. They thought he's, uska pagal hai. Arey, pagal to hum hai. He's not pagal, we are pagal. So the people did not understand. And so they put the other son, Brahmi's son, Vatsara, in the throne. Matvatam Jadamunmattam Kulavriddha Samantrinaha Vatsaram Bhupadim Chakruhu Yaviyam Sam Brahmi Sutam. So the first wife was Brahmi, her son is Vatsara. They install Vatsara on the throne. So Savirtir Vatsara Syeshta स्वर्वीतिर्वत्सरस्येष्टा भार्यासूदषडात्मजान् पुष्पानं तिग्मकेतुं च ईशमूर्जं वसुं जयम्. Now we get the names of their wife and their children and so forth. Swarvitirvatsarashyeshta Bharyasuda Shadatmajan Pushpanam Digmaketum Cha Ishamurjam Vasumjayam Pushpanasya Prabha Bharya Dosha Chadve Babu Vadhu Pradar Madhyandinam Sayam Idi Hyasan Prabhasutaha Pushpanasya Prabha Bharya Dosha Chadve Babu Vadhu Pradharmadhyandinam sayam itikyasan Prabhasutaha. The wife of Vatsara, and they had 6 sons. So, Swarvitir Vatsarasyeshta Bharya Sudashadatmajan Pushparnam, these are their names. Pushparna, Tigmaketu, Isha, Urja, Vasu, and Vasum Jayam. So Vasu and Jaya. Pushparna, Tigmaketu, Isha, Urja, Vasu and Jaya. These are the 6 sons of Vatsara. And then Pushparnasya Prabhabhadya Dosha Chadve Babuvadhu. Pushparna had 2 wives. Their names are Prabha and Dosha. And then Prabha had 3 sons. Pradosho Pradharmadhyandinam Sayam Idihyasan Prabhasutaha. The 3 deities of Sandhya Kala are born. Pratha, Madhya, Dinam, Sandhyam. All the 3 sons of Pushparna are Prabha are Prata, Madhyandina and Saya. These are the 3 deities of Sandhya. And they are born, and then प्रातर्मध्यन्दिनं सायम् इति ह्यासन् प्रभासुतः प्रदोषो निशितो व्युष्ट इति दोषासुतास्त्रयः व्युष्टसुतं पुष्करिण्यां सर्वतेजसमाददे प्रदोषो निशितो व्युष्ट इति दोषासुतास्त्रयः व्युष्टसुत सुतं पुष्करिण्यां सर्वतेजसमाददे स चक्षुः सुतमाहूत्यां पत्न्यामनुम् अवापः मनोरसूतमहिषी विरजानड्बलासुतान् स चक्षुः पत्न्यामनुमवापः मनोरसूतमहिषी विरजानड्बलासुतान् सुतास्त्रयः युष्टं सुतं पुष्करिण्यां सर्वतेजसमाददे पुष्पार्णस्य प्रभाभार्या. So Pushparna had Prabha and Dosha, and then Prabha had Pradar Madhyandinam Sayam, and then now Pradosho Nishito Vyushta iti Dosha Sutastrayaha. Dosha, the other wife, she had 3 sons, and they are Pradosha Kalam, Pradosha, Nishita and Vyushta. These are the deities of twilight, midnight and dawn. So very interesting all this. Pradosho Nishito Vyushta Idi Dosha Sutastrayah Vyushta Sutam Pushkarinyam Sarvatejasamadadi. Out of that, Vyushta had a son named Sarvatejas, and he is very radiant and very famous. And so Vyushta Sudam Pushkarinyam Sarvatejasamadade Sachakshu Sutamakutyam Patnyamanum Avapaha. Then his wife Sarvatejas had a wife called Akuti, and the son Manu Chakshus was born to them. So Sarvateja Sachakshu Sutamakutyam Patnyamanumavapaha Manora Sutamahishi Virajan Nadvala Sutan, and they had a son, many sons through their wife Nadvala. So how we are seeing Dhruva and Brahmi and the other wife Ila, and then we have Kalpa and Utkala, and then Vatsara and another son, and then Vatsara's line Pradosha and Prabha and their children, Prabha's 3 sons, Dosha's 3 sons, and then there. See how we are coming like that? So now again going on, मनोरसूद महिषी विरजा नड्वला सुता सचक्षु सुतमाकूत्यां Let no one tell you, "Arey, they are just doing bhajan." No, we are learning our memory game. We are doing every day. These are the ways to keep our brain engaged. Then that is how Bhagavatam makes us physically and mentally very strong, both. So this is we are not just blindly mindlessly doing something. Our mind and brain are engaged in class, and this is the way to go deeper and deeper and get more closer to our chittam and awareness. This is what helps us become more and more aware of ourselves. This is the sattvika way to become more and more aware. So sachakshu sudamakutyam patnyamanumavapaha manorasodamahishi virajanadvala sutan. Then purum kutsam tritam dhyumnam satyavantam ridam radam अग्निष्टोममतिरात्रं प्रद्युम्नं शिबिमुल्मुखं पुरुं कुत्सं त्रितं द्युम्नं सत्यवन्तं हृदं रदम् अग्निष्टोममतिरात्रं प्रद्युम्नं शिबिमुल्मुखम् उल्मुखो अजनयत् पुत्रान् पुष्करिण्यां षडुत्तमान् अङ्गं सुमनसं ख्यातिं क्रतुमङ्गिरसं गयम्. So now the story will start. Ulmuku ajanayat putran pushkarinyam chaduttaman angam sumanasam khyadim kratumangirasam gayam dam ridam vadam. All these are children of Sarvatejas and his wife and then their grandchildren. So Purum kutsam tritam dhyumnam satyavandam ridam radam agnistomamatiratram pradyumnam shibimulmukam. Agnishtoma, Atiratra, Pradyumna, Shibi, and Ulmuka. These are all the names of their sons. Then Ulmuka had more children. Ulmuko Ajanayat Putran, Pushkarinyam Shaduttaman. He married Pushkarini and they had many sons. And then these are we are going to start the story from them. Angam Ulmuko Ajanayat Putran Pushkarinyam Shaduttaman Angam Sumanasam Kyadim Kradum Mangirasam Gayam. Anga Maharaja is the next topic. So Anga is the son of Ulmuka. Ulmuko Ajanayat Putran Pushkarinyam Shaduttaman Angam Sumanasam Kyadim Kratumangirasam Gayam. Anga, Sumanasa, Khyati, Kratu, Angiras, and Gaya. These are the more sons. And then after that, Sunitangasya ya patni, Sushuve Vena Mulbanam Poch Vena. He came. Vena is the son of Anga, and he is on the other side, evil one. Sunitangasya ya patni Sushuve Venamulbanam Yadhau Shilyatsa Rajashihi Nirvino Niragat Purat. Sunitangasya ya patni Sushuve Venamulbanam Yadhau Shilyatsa Rajashihi Nirvino Niragat Purat. Yamangashepu Kupita Vagvajra Munayakila Gatasostatya Bhuyaste Mamantur Dakshinam Karam. Yamangashepu Kupita Vagvajra Munayakila Gatasostasya Bhuyaste Mamantur Dakshinam Karam. Isa is the son of Ulmuka. Now Anga's son, Anga married Sunita. Sunita Angasya Patni Sushube Venamulbanam. So he married Sunita, but their son was evil. How Utkala was born as a Jnani, here this Vena is born as wicked from birth only. So here Daushilyatsa Raja Shihi, seeing his cruel nature, our Anga Maharaja became very dejected and he renounced his kingdom and went quietly. He got up one night and left the palace and left everything. So dejected that such a son is born to me, and he left. Sunita Angasya ya patni Sushuve Venamulbanam Yadhaushilya Rajashihi Nirvirno Niragat Purat. Anga Maharaja left. Then this Vena, they had to make him the king. And that Vena was so evil. He was arguing with the sages, and the sages, they cursed him. Yamanga shepu kupita vagvajra munayakila. He was burnt to ashes by the Brahmana Shapa. Gata asostasya bhuyaste mamantur dakshinam karam. But his mother preserved his body, and then this body was churned, and all the sins came out. And then after that, a beautiful divine being emerged. Arajake tadaloke tasyubi pidita prajaha jato नारायणांशेन पृथुराध्यक्षितीश्वरः बोलिए पृथु अवतार की जय अराजके तदालोके तस्युभिः पीडिता प्रजाः जातो नारायणांशेन पृथुराध्यक्षितीश्वरः अराजके तदालोके तस्युभिः पीडिता प्रजाः जातो नारायणांशेन पृथुराध्यक्षितीश्वरः वाग्वज्रा मुनयः किल तथासोस्तस्य भूयस्ते mamantur dakshinam. They did churning the body, and all the dirt is removed, and then there emerges a beautiful divine avatara of Narayana and Amsha, a partial incarnation of Narayana, and it is called the Prithu Avatara. Narajake tadaloge. When Vena was killed, there was no king in the land, and it was anarchy started, and then people were oppressed by thieves and evil people, and then so the sages churned the body which was preserved by Vena's mother, and when they churned then all the evil was gone, and then jato narayanamshena prituradakshitishwaraha. Finally, Prithu Avatara, Bhagavan himself came as Prithu Avatara. What did Bhagavan do in the Prithu Avatara? All that we'll see. This is just a higher level background given by Maitreya to Vidura. Now we will go into the story deeper in the following shlokas. So, Arajage tadaloke tasyubi pidita prajaha jato narayanamshena prithuradyachitishwaraha. Prithu Avatar Bhagavan ki jai. Guruvayurappa Sharanam. Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai. तमद्भुतं बालकमम्बुजेक्षणं चतुर्भुजं शङ्खगदायुधायुधं श्रीवत्सलक्ष्मं गलशोभिकौस्तुभं पीताम्बरं सान्द्रपयोधसौभगं महार्हवैडूर्यकिरीटकुण्डल त्विषापरिष्वक्तसहस्रकुण्डलम् उद्दामकाञ्च्यङ्गदकङ्कणादिभिः विरोचमानं वसुदेवैक्षता कलिमलहरणं त्वां श्रुत्वा कैवल्यसुखप्रदं कृष्णप्रेमनिमग्नो राजा कृष्णपदाम्बुजमाप देवा जय जय भागवत जय जय भागवत देवा जय जय भागवत जय जय राधा कृष्ण स्वरूप जय जय भागवत देवा जय जय भागवत। बोलिए भागवत भगवान की जय। श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे,